Let's start with Carolina because they're obviously the losers in the situation. And they have one of the worst record, if not the worst record in football at 1-8. And when there's disappointment there, obviously, because when you have the number 1 overall pick and you get Bryce Young, you hope, you don't expect, you hope that to be the number 1 overall pick, it takes your team to exponential heights quickly. We talk about being a first round pick or a lottery pick and the benefits that brings. And one benefit that we talk about a lot is it allows you multiple chances that maybe someone in the later round wouldn't get. We talk about Baker Mayfield a lot, and we talk about Johnny Manziel. Being a first round pick, being a top pick, gives you that type of leeway and gives you that type of grace that allows you to continue to mess up and continue to get second chances. I say this all the time with Baker Mayfield. And no, I don't think Baker Mayfield is terrible, but I don't think that he is on the level of a first round pick. I'll say this. If Baker Mayfield was a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick or a 6th round pick, he would not have nearly the same amount of chances or the same amount of opportunities to redeem himself as much as he's had because he was a number 1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield has never, he had a good season, but he's never played to the number 1 pick status. You know, being a first round pick or being a top pick in the NFL gives you opportunities and gives you chances, let's say, that maybe someone in a later round wouldn't get. However, I guess a negative side to that is when you are a top round pick, or let's just speak about Bryce Young, when you are a number 1 overall pick, you're expected to take the organization to exponential heights and quickly. You're expected to be a game changer from day one. And that window of, oh, he's a rookie, let him grow, let him develop, let him learn. That window and that time frame is a lot shorter with the number 1 overall pick because the patience is not there. You don't get that patience with the number 1 overall pick. The issue is, and the problem is with Carolina is Bryce Young needs that. And they're trying to give it to him, but then, of course, you also have in the back of your mind, well, that's the number 1 overall pick. And it does not help that the number 2 overall pick or the second quarterback to come off the board, which is C.J. Stroud, is having a historic year as a rookie. But what I can say is there needs to be a level of patience that a number 1 pick usually doesn't get. And what I mean patience, because I know I just said that a number 1 pick usually has more opportunities to redeem himself if he messes up. And I'm not talking about off the field. I'm literally talking about on the field. If you're not playing well, you have multiple chances because you're a number 1 overall pick or you're a first round pick. Bryce Young it's very possible that Bryce Young, when we look 3, 4, 5 years from now, can be one of a top tier quarterback. He is furthest from a top tier quarterback right now. And while you have some people that are saying, give it patience, you have some people that are also saying, hey, but he's a number 1 overall pick. There shouldn't be that much patience with a number 1 overall pick because not only are you a number 1 overall pick, meaning that you're looked at as the best player in the draft, but the person that you were kind of butting against in the draft at C.J. Stroud is going crazy in Houston. There is some hope and there is some anticipation of the future with Carolina because when you hear people talk, when you hear analysts talk, when you hear reporters talk, while yes, there is a level of frustration that he hasn't looked good, there also is a level of patience. And you can see the framework of a good team in Carolina. Maybe Frank Reich, who is the head coach, isn't the coach for this team, but you can see the framework. You can see a really good defense with this Carolina Panthers. You can see a good wide receiver when we talk about Adam Thielen and we talk about Hayden Hurst at the tight end. You can see a good running game with Miles Sanders, even though he hasn't really been good after getting that contract. But I also think it's because of how he's being used in Chuba Hubbard. You can see the frameworks of a really good team with the Carolina Panthers. What's needed more than anything right now is just patience. And that's another thing that isn't really accepted in sports. And I'll talk about that towards the end when we talk about end of careers, right? The one thing that is always on the back of people's minds, but it's never really affected until it's affected, is sports keeps going. And now more than ever, because talent is so vast, and you look up and it doesn't matter. You look at a lot of rookies in the NFL and the NBA and sports, and that development window isn't as wide as it used to be because they're just coming in so good. You know, the talent gap isn't as far as when we talk about rookies and veterans these days. And sports just keeps going. That's why when you hear a lot of people say, hey, the game will be here with or without you, that is true. And patience, you're not really allowed to have that much patience, even though it's needed. You're not able to have that much patience because the game keeps going. And year after year after year, a new batch of players that can essentially affect the game is coming in. So you need to be on your P's and Q's. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.